Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with my Kindle Unlimited Check In. It's time. We do this about every 2 months, 2 or 3 months, depends on how much I'm reading. I've read a good bit, my checkouts have shifted a good bit, so that feels really good right now. I feel like for a while my checkouts were kind of stagnant and I was cycling out the same like 3 books. We've got some new titles in here, so that's great. Some of these I did read for a try chapter for my Mafia one, so I won't go into great detail on them. You can check that out if you're curious. I am going to be reading some of them here also because I'm in that kind of mood still a little bit. Like I'm definitely enjoying some darker romances right now. Sun's out, dark romance. It makes sense, right? Let's talk about everything I've checked out. The first 5, I think, are all older titles, and everything else after that are new. So I still have 2 Twisted Crowns checked out by Rachel Gillick. I need to read this. I am waiting for my hold to come back from the library. I sent it back because I just was not. I'm doing the read-alongs right now, and it's really hard for me to read this while I'm doing read-alongs. So once those are over, I'm going to read it, but I want to have the option to tandem read, so I'm just holding this spot in my KU until then. Next we have Threads That Bind Us. This is a mafia romance that has pegging, and I do need to like actually read it, especially with the mood I'm in. I think that one I actually may be reading sooner than later. Then we have Face Off by Chelsea Curto. I really want to read this series because everyone on TikTok and stuff has loved it. I know there's critiques for it, but I'm always curious about popular titles like this. I'm always interested in trying them, and I'm kind of not in a hockey mood right now, but I'm also just letting this sit here because sometimes I just get the bug and I read a hockey book out of nowhere in the middle of the night, you know? So that could happen here very easily with this one. Then we have Untethering Dark. This is Desiree M. Nicole's debut with Carina Press and a monster romance. It's gonna happen. It's gonna live here though, because I get nervous when publishers put things on KU to like return them until I read them because I'm afraid they're going to go back off of KU and have like massive library holds, wait times. So this is chilling here. I'm very excited for it. I'm ready to read it at some point. Then we have A Rivalry of Hearts. This, I have the sequel on audio, which I think is a different couple, but I would like to read this. It seems fun. It seems like kind of a fall read maybe, but maybe it's a summer read. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I know it's a fantasy romance and I'm interested in it. Most people I know have liked it and I've been told I would probably like it, so you can let me know. Then we have Just Drive. This is an Omegaverse F1 romance, and I'm just so intrigued by that combination of tropes and things happening in one statement that I think I've got to read it at some point. I just haven't wanted to read a 600 plus page book, but I'm gonna have to for a challenge I'm doing, which we'll talk about in my July reset. Then we have Craving His Blood by Zoe Draven. This is the sequel to Desire in His Blood. I loved Desire in His Blood, so I am planning to read this soon. I kind of have certain books set aside for next month. I have certain books kind of earmarked right now as like when life gets hard, when things are a little too stressful. So that's like one of the ones that I have earmarked for that because I feel like this is one of those things where you can just kind of escape into this world and enjoy a story that is bonkers. And vampire aliens. What a fun combo. Then I have Lilac and Honey. I tried the first chapter of this in my try chapter. The next couple will be those. And I need to continue a little bit more to see if I want to read it or not. So I may do that soon here, honestly, where I try a little bit more of these to see if I either A, finish them, or B, just I'm like, I'm good. Silent Vows, same thing. I need to read a little bit more to decide. Some of these ended up on my maybe list, and I'm going to do a vlog here where I read the maybes, but Silent Vows, another mafia book. The Devil I Don't Know, same thing. So yeah, those 3 at least I would like to try a couple more pages of and then decide what I think and if I want to continue. And if I don't, they're going to get returned by the next check-in. That's the goal. Any of the mafia ones I should be trying and returning by the next check-in. Again, then I have Redeeming the Villain. This is the next one in the Briar U series. The first one was Beauty and the Beast inspired. This one is Sleeping Beauty inspired. I've read the first chapter of it. I'm intrigued. I do want to continue. She kind of delays college after being bullied a bunch at school. And lo and behold, her bully is at the college and they run into each other on the first day. So there's going to be an interesting dynamic shift exploration here. I'm definitely more open to college post-bully, like bully relationship than I am like high school bully situations. So yeah, I'm very intrigued on this one. It is also a hockey romance. Then I have The Scent of Us by Elena Lee. I really want to get back to the series. I really just need to read this book. I read the first chapter a while ago. I liked it a lot and I've never returned. So I'm kind of, again, earmarked for when I want to know Megaverse. I do think this one's a little bit emotional, so I could be in the headspace for it soon. I definitely like want to be in the headspace, the right headspace when I read an emotional book, because I don't want to cry. But I'm really, really intrigued by this, so I probably will read it soon. Then I have a pack for autumn. This got picked up by traditional publishers and is leaving KU. So if you read a pack for winter or want to read these two, they are leaving KU, I believe, completely, or one is and the other may not be. So I just grabbed it. I'm probably going to read it this summer so that I'm current with the series and ready for whenever the pack for spring comes out. Next, I have Snapdragon. This was also in a try chapter. This was in the Build My TBR try chapter. This has gargoyle romance in it. I've actually started reading a little bit more of it last night because I was trying to decide what I wanted to read. And this author is attending the Villains and Vixens event I'm going to. So I do want to finish it and see what I think, so I can decide if I want to get the book signed or something signed by her. And so far I've liked it. This has a really intense opening, I will tell you that right now. And I go into full details in my Building a TBR try chapter. So you can go check that out if you're curious. And then we have All Superheroes Need PR. This came out. I immediately checked it out. I do need to read it. I'm going to. I'm a little nervous. I think I'll like it, but a couple people I know had some issues that I feel like are also going to stand out to me a little bit as a problem, but we'll see. I've really enjoyed most of Elizabeth Stevens' books. I've enjoyed every book by Elizabeth Stevens I've read, so I'm expecting to like this one for the most part. Next, we have Paid and Hate. This is also from the Building My TBR try chapter, like where I find books. And this was one that I found, I think, on Romance.io after reading like the S.J. Tilley's. And I am curious enough, I can't decide if I should start here or if I should go back and start at the first book in the series, because I really want to read the last book. But I think I probably should read them in order-ish, because the last book follows a sister, and there's, I think, some things that happen. Some things that happen in the beginning of this book that I feel like are gonna, in other books too, and like affect where I'm headed in this last book. But I may just read Paved in Hate and then decide. Next, we have Riches to Riches. This is a bonkers Why Choose Mafia that, again, I really need to get back to. I finished that first chapter and was like, oh, I'm hooked. So I might read Snapdragons and then this very soon. I truly love a Banana Pants Bonkers Mafia book. Then we have The Saltwater Curse by Venus St. Graves. This is the newest release from an author I've really enjoyed. I really liked Death's Obsession by her, and I need to read more of her other books, but this one I'm super intrigued by because we have a tentacled monster and it's summer, so what better thing to read than tentacle monsters, and I just feel like I need to read it soon. So I checked that out when it came out. And then our last two, we have Married to the Alien Cowboy. This is my members pick for this month, so I am going to be reading it here. And I'm really, really excited for it. I think it sounds super duper fun. It's basically Ice Planet-ish with being married off to cowboy aliens. And that sounds great to me. So good times all around. Then last but not least, my newest checkout is Leave Me Behind by Kim Morova. This is a darker-ish romance situation. This also just got picked up by a publisher. This got picked up by Bloom. So I checked it out. Bloom does usually keep, I think the authors keep their e-rights, so it should stay in KU, but I'm just intrigued enough that I would like to try it, because supposedly a lot of people read it and I've never seen anyone talk about it. So we'll see what happens. I have this checked out. I don't know a ton about it otherwise than like it being kind of a darker romance. All right, let's talk about the 11 things I've read from KU since the last check-in. Not my highest number, but not my lowest either. So first up, I read Demon's Dream by Elle Kaysen, and I am gonna need my fellow dark romance readers to read this. This follows two different couples on a journey, to say the least. It is long, but you will literally devour this book so quickly. It's kind of unbelievable how quickly I devoured this book. It's definitely dark and twisted. Heed the content notes for this one for sure, because it is going to be intense, but I thought it was worth every single page. I was gripped by this book. I was hooked in. I didn't want to do anything but read this dang book, and I had to like take some time off to get some other stuff done so I could then sit down and just read the book and not do anything else. So we follow two different relationships. We follow Demon and Dream's relationship, and then Smoke and I can never remember her name. Anyways, we follow two different relationships throughout this whole book, so that also gives you idea for the length. And I think it really did a great job balancing their two romances and also this like really over-the-top crime family story. It's fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. Over-the-top dramatics, but a good time. A really good time. Then we have Desire in His Blood by Zoe Draven. This is another one that had been on my TBR for frickin' ever, and I finally dove in. and everyone I know that loved it is correct. This was fantastic. This is an alien romance where the aliens are vampires. She is basically sold to an alien vampire dude to marry him because her family is in this massive pile of debt. So she's trying to help get them out of it, and her dad's a mess. And we find out a lot of truths versus the lies she's been raised on around her father's legacy and what he did during this war they had, but also her having to accept that her siblings like kind of had no idea what was actually happening with her dad and the money situation, on top of her like leaving the care of that. Like, she left them and they had to figure it out in some ways, and I don't think that was a bad thing. I like when that happens in books, kind of, when this stuff is going on. So this to me was really, really fascinating and interesting to read and to enjoy. So I had a good time. I think it's really, really good. I think it's one of those books that surprised me a lot, and I really liked the mash we had of a vampire and an alien. Like, I didn't know what I would think of that, but overall it was really surprisingly enjoyable in a way that I just, like I said, did not really expect from this. And I'm excited to continue. Then we have A Love Most Fatal, which is then going to show you the marathon I went on, basically. So I read A Love Most Fatal by Kath Richards. We don't get book 2 until September, and I'm very sad about it. Very, very sad about it. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for the arcs because I want it. I devoured this book, though. I could not put this book down. And then I was mad because I had nothing else like it to read. But this book follows our heroine, who is the mob boss instead of our guy. So our girl is our mob boss. He is a teacher. They meet at a parent-teacher conference, basically, because she's there for her godson / nephew. And they have some chemistry. They hit it off. They go on a date to his cousin's wedding. And from there, people find out that he is with her. Like, that they went on a date, and they assume they're, like, dating. So he becomes a target. He has to move into the family house and navigate how to survive this and also deal with the reality of what he's seeing, which is mob activities. And he becomes a total badass by the end, and I love it. It's so, so, so good. So good, y'all. And then that led me down a rabbit hole, okay? Because I just wanted unhinged mafia books. So I read all 4 books in the Alliance series by S.J. Tilley, which was Nero, King, Dom, and Hans. I liked all 4. I think that in some ways Dom was my favorite. It was the most messed up of them all. But I also really loved King. He had secret spectacles. Nero was fun because she was just like, why are you in my apartment? And then just like accepted him showing up. And I was like, girl, you need an ounce of self-preservation. But I'm here to read about your lack of self-preservation. And then Hans is like her neighbor. And that one was really fun too. They like work together to help go take out this person. All around, this was really, really fun. A really silly time. If you want a quick summer read, in my opinion, these are a great option. If you're looking for a quick summer mafia read, I was left very surprised. I read all of them in like 4 days. 5 days. 4 or 5 days, I was done with the series. I finished A Love Most Fatal. I started Nero. And then I just kept going until I was done, which I don't do super often. I was not vlogging that week, unfortunately. But I literally just like could not stop. So I just straight down the line. Here I am, everyone's favorite. Just fell into a hole and had to make my way through. I read nothing else by S.J. Tilley. I don't know if I will. This series might have just been what I needed, and that was it, and I'm good. But it was very fun. Very silly times. Then I read Psycho Shifters by Jasmine Moss. I had this as an audiobook arc on NetGalley, and I also had the ebook out, and I flipped back and forth that night that I marathoned it basically between the two, and I had a really good time. I think this was a very fun, silly, why choose situation. It is over the top, it is dramatic, it ends in a bit of a cliffhanger, but I also am okay with that cliffhanger because I'm still waiting for the next book. Like, I'm not pressed to get the next book immediately. So there's that. But I thought it was really interesting to play on Omegaverse. Like, they have knots, but we're not like full alpha omega situations with it. And it also just was different. It felt very different. Like, there's a portals into the world, and we're trying to figure out why things keep coming through these portals to fight in this war, and there's some things that maybe we don't know, is the reveal, of course. So I'm curious enough that I will continue reading as the arcs probably pop up on NetGalley. I'll read them that way, but I'm also like, okay, we could try some more. So we'll see. We'll see what I do and when I can get more of the audios. Then I read Secret Play. This is an age gap romance. We have the coach of the hockey team, and her brother is on the hockey team. We open at this masquerade party. They have a one-night stand. They keep their masks on. She does not know who he is. Turns out she got pregnant. Whoops. And then 4 years later, she moves back to Atlanta. She like went to LA. Now she's come back to Atlanta. And she sees, they realize it's his kid. Like it clicks in her head that it was him and that it was her kid. There's a lot of tension around like him figuring out it was her back then, all this stuff. Also, her brother is a player on the team that he coaches. A lot of drama here, a lot of drama, but it was a really intriguing story. Overall, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. Not the most memorable thing. I would say it's like a 3.5 for me, 3.5, somewhere in there. I had fun reading it in the moment and I read it really quickly, but I didn't feel like it was something I was gonna like sit and think about much or have it linger with me beyond that. But it was really interesting overall. It was a different setup than I'm used to. It was fun having a coach romance. I've not read a ton of coaches, I feel like, so that was fun. I'm not a huge Secret Baby fan, but I kind of like that kind of Secret Baby. Like, that one's messy. I like a messy Secret Baby, okay? Not like a I ran from you, I'm hiding it Secret Baby, but like a oops, I had a baby, I don't know who the daddy is, and then oh no, here's the dad, and oh no, I don't know if I should tell him or not. Like that kind of mess, I'm here for it. I'm here for a messy Secret Baby. Not always here for just like a I'm running off and hiding this child from you situation. Then we have the last two things I read from KU and marathoned. So I finished or got current with the Shifter City series by James and Eve. So I read A Twist of Luck, which is book 2, and then I read A Claim of Fortune, which is book 3 in this series, and I'm obsessed. So these are not Omegaverse. I want to be very clear on this. This is not an Omegaverse series. This is a Shifter series that is Alpha and Omega featuring, not Omegaverse. So basically all the guys are different shifters. She's also a shifter. She has been on the run her whole life and ends up getting found and caught and brought to the Shifter City when one of their entitled alphas, like the head alpha of their group, sees her or smells her. He's like, oh my god, we're a scent match. And of course they are. So it's their journey to like match with each other and fall in love, but also a lot of forces trying to pull them apart because she knows a bunch of things that we kind of don't know as the reader at first, and then we start to learn as the reader, and then also they start to learn about as the reader. And book 1 and 2 end in terrible cliffhangers, so you're gonna want to read them back to back. Book 3 ends in an okay cliffhanger where you are gonna be okay to wait it out until we get book 4, which is coming in January. So I just wanted to like blitz through this book and be current and ready to read the next one when it came out, because I will be diving in as soon as it's out in January. I cannot wait to see how this ends. I really have loved the story. I've loved how different each alpha is in this pairing. I've also just enjoyed the world that has been set up here. I think it's been really interesting and different. Not what I expected by any means. And that is not a complaint or a negative thing. It's just not what I expected of it. And yeah, I've been happily surprised with the James and Eve series. I'm kind of obsessed and truly very, very excited for more. So that's everything I have checked out and read from KU in the last 2 months or so. Let me know your most recent KU checkout. I'd love to know. Or the most recent thing you returned, or both. Your pick. Y'all know. I love to chat with you in the comments. And if you don't do any of that, you can leave me a wolf or a bear emoji in the comments, because there's both kinds of that shifter in that series. There's 3 wolves. There's 3 wolves and 1 bear and a dragon. So we've got a nice variety happening in that book series, but you can do that down below. I will have links to all of the books I just talked about for you, links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will catch y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we